guard.
Yeah, you were
a lot of Westbrook in my game.
Now I'm going to guess less than more. But you would be a good guard because I think you're pragmatic, and I think you're thoughtful, and I think you have leadership qualities, and I think you're smart. I have never denied Westbrook's talent. Up 3, a minute, you have the ball. I'm going to play this. This is what Boston would, if they could vote, hope Westbrook would do. With a lead in the ball. Here it is. Sound up. We do sound up. Westbrook.
Yeah, Adams bailed out a tough shot by Russell Westbrook. You kind of looked at me on that shot. It was a wrong one.
Well, that's where they got to be better right there, especially from Russ. Your point guard, especially 1 minute left to go. Get to the free throw line at least. Don't settle for that long shot.
What in God's name was that? If he drives, which he's great at, if he gets fouled, which he is often, and he goes to the free throw line where he's a career 80% shooter, that's why. That's a late game situation. That's what the playoffs are. That is exactly, Chris, what the playoffs will become. You're not going to get these. You know how the playoffs are. You don't see many dunks in the playoffs. You don't get a lot of cheap points. That is situational NBA playoff basketball in 3 weeks.
I knew once they lost that game, you were going to bring me on the couch and just try to throw darts at me about Westbrook.
Okay, just that play, though.
Look, I can't defend that. I mean, you said it, and that is Westbrook's weakness. Okay, his weakness is the last 2 minutes of the game. I mean, there are other things you might talk about, the way he plays, maybe not getting guys involved as much. But his weakness, and OKC knows it, is the last few minutes of the game.
They know
decision making.
They know it?
Yeah, they know it. They know. Now, they still love him, obviously, as they should. But they understand that is the thing that if they could change anything about him, it would be how you handle the decision making in those last couple of minutes, because you don't play the last 2 minutes like you played minutes 24 and 25.
This is a great point, Chris. If you are in a boxing match and you have won 8 of 10 rounds, that 10th round, you do not put yourself in the crosshairs of a left hook. If you lead a golf tournament by 6 strokes off the tee, you take out a 3-wood. You just play it safe.
Yeah.
This was a 3-point lead and the ball. It's a different possession than 7 minutes left trailing by a point.
That can cost them. There's no question. Now, that didn't cost them last night. What cost them last night was Melo missing the 2 free throws. And then, let's be honest, a 27 and a 26-foot jumper from Marcus Morris and Terry Rozier. Like, they aren't hitting those on a regular basis. So it was a bit of a fluke that they lost that game. But in general, your point is well taken that those types of plays in the playoffs, they do come back to haunt you. But here's the thing. There are 3 players in the NBA right now that we know, not that we think, not that we imagine, that we know can be the best players on their teams and lead them to a championship.
Who?
LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, taking out Dwayne Wade, who's past his prime.
Right.
3 guys in their prime. James Harden, do we think that? Maybe, but do we know it? No.
We do not know it.
Westbrook, who else? Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid. There's no. So my point is, you live with it when you have a great player like Westbrook, and to combat his negativities, his explosiveness and athleticism is so unique that it's a benefit that can ruin other point guards and other teams in the playoffs. So you kind of live with it. You got this negativity of situational basketball in the last few minutes, but on the other hand, his explosiveness can get the opposing point guards off their game.
Or in foul trouble.
It's done it to, Steph doesn't guard him, but it's certainly done it to Chris Paul in the playoff series, where he keeps you so on your toes for 48 minutes that you can end up making mistakes. You can end up doubting yourself. You can end up, being out of your element and and it can cost you a game or a series. So you live with those things with Westbrook.
So Kyrie Irving pre-LeBron was often hurt and a little bit of a diva. The knock on him was he doesn't make a ton of guys better, but he is really talented. That was pre-LeBron.
He was perennial all-star.
He was a very good player.
I think he had won the MVP all-star of the all-star.
All-star. Come on.
I'm just saying, it wasn't like he was Rodney Hood.
What?
He
No.
was accepted as a star before LeBron.
Then LeBron comes, win a final. I kept hearing best finisher in the league, and people were saying top 5 player. A year removed. He's hurt again.
Were people saying top 5? Come on. They were saying top
finals?
5 point guard.
In the finals?
I don't think anybody was saying top 5 player.
Hurt again. In March, in his 3 games, he played 16 a game. And by the way, now we're talking Embiid, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Giannis, Kawhi. We're not talking about Kyrie anymore. Even among point guards, it's Harden MVP, Westbrook most athletic, Steph most revolutionary.
Well, they were always ahead of Kyrie, even when Kyrie was in Cleveland.
Are you sure?
If you want to bring up a player, you can bring up Damian Lillard.
Oh, there's another guy that we're talking about.
Lillard and Kyrie were always kind of neck and neck.
Chris.
Some people had Lillard ahead of him. I think ESPN.com did a survey before the season. They had Kyrie some really low number. I mean, it was in the 20s maybe as the best player, one of the 20s.
Seems like he's hurt again.
Well, I will say this. There is some sentiment within the Celtics organization.
Oh, let me hear this.
No, this isn't just that let's see what happens with the second opinion, but that possibly, this is far from definite. I don't want to sound the alarm, but possibly this could put his season in jeopardy.
Oh!
And let me
Breaking
say
news.
this. If that's the case, then Danny Ainge is looking more at, you know what? If it's the case, we'll rest him now. Don't push him through this season just to have him play in the playoffs when the knee's not really right. Let's get him healthy, and then he and Hayward come back next season. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying there is some thinking that let's see what happens with this.
Well, last night, the announcers kept saying they're getting a second opinion. When's the last time when you ask for a second opinion because you don't like the first?
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's why you
You're
ask
right.
for a second opinion.
You're right. Just the fact that he's having a second opinion
and by the way,
reason to be
16
concerned.
points a game in March. He was averaging 27 in December.
But hold on. So what's your point? That
My
Kyrie...
point is, pre-LeBron, he's playing like 60 games a year, get beat up, hell of a player. But a lot of people said he doesn't make anybody better. He's just great, won't play defense. Then with LeBron, he wins a title. I hear, quote, best finisher, not hurt as much. Now LeBron leaves. It's like a second opinion, could miss the rest of the regular season.
Well, but hold on. The injury, that could have happened in fact, it would have happened in Cleveland because it's related to when he injured his knee in the finals in 2015.
You think I'm being negative?
Yes. I mean, look, first of all, we were talking about Kyrie Irving as an MVP candidate early in the season.
Well, December. I hadn't even opened my Christmas present yet.
Look, the only way that I don't think there's no way you can rip Kyrie for what he did unless Cleveland wins the championship.
No, I'm not criticizing for leaving. Like, I get it. No. I understand he wanted to be his own guy.
So you're saying he was overrated when he was in Cleveland?
I'm just saying. You know, this idea that LeBron is difficult and LeBron takes the physical beating, the media beating, never gets hurt, never misses games, makes your life a lot easier than people think.
It shows an example of how hard you need to work. He's the best player in the world working as hard. So you're right. I mean, and he takes pressure off of you. You're not being the number one guy does make it easier. And could that have something to do with the durability of Kyrie going forward? We'll see. Let me say this about LeBron.
I got to go. Man, you were just getting good.
I was just getting rolling.
New show, Odd Couple, with Rob Parker this Sunday, 6 to 9 Eastern. We got to go. Hour 2 coming up, Pro Day. It's The Herd.